Hello, and welcome to this live stream of It's a Fandom Thing. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, really. I mean, we did do Glee a while ago, and then before that, we did book adaptations, which Paula was on as well. But it has been a while, so I'm glad that we're back to doing these. I'm going to try once again, to have them weekly. I mean, they definitely are going to be starting September 4th. You're going to probably get sick of us. Just kidding. Because our horror trivia event, of course, begins on September 4th. Signups are now until August 28th. So you have a couple more weeks to sign up. I'm going to put the link towards the end of this broadcast or somewhere in the middle to that sign up sheet. Once again, you do not have to be in a team, so you can be an individual. And another thing we made a change to, since it is a 10-night event, I know that's hard for a lot of people to make all of that. So instead of doing what we were going to do, which is where you had to attend or you'd be eliminated, you can attend as many or as few as you want. And what will happen is we're just going to add your points together. They carry over to the next round, so on and so forth. So there will be one winner each night for each trivia night. And then there will be a first place, second place, and third place winner once it's all done, when we wrap up with body horror is the last one we're doing. And that's in November when that wraps up. So this starts September 4th and then runs through to November, till early November. The link will have all the schedules. It'll have the link to the Google Doc that has all the rules and regulations. And regulation sounds weird to say, but it has all the rules in there. And so once again, you don't have to be on a team, but if you are, just max 2 people on a team. I am asking that people try and come up with clever horror team names. We've had some great ones come in so far. And you will also be getting a little goodie bag if you go to Sasha's Instagram page. I'll be posting it later too, but if you go to Sasha's, which is Vegan Chick, on Instagram, you will be able to see a picture of a little bit of the stuff that's going to be in the goodie bag you're going to get for signing up and making that $5 suggested donation. It has to be minimum $5. All that money goes to one Black Lives Matter organization and One Stop Asian Hate organization. And that will be at least a minimum of $30. So no matter how many people sign up, $30 for each one. And that'll be to the organization, will be decided by the winner, by the grand prize winner. If we get more donations, like we've already had someone donate more than the $5, all extra will still go to one. Will still be split between those, all of what we see from that. And you will also get a podcast pin with our brand new horror logo, which you've heard me talk about it. I love it so much. And this is, as long as you make that minimum $5 donation, you will get that. Let me show that on the screen again. That's what it'll look like. So Erin, the other Erin Amos, is making these. So they are amazing and awesome. And so you'll get that and some other little tiny goodies. And once again, there's also going to be costume contests each night, which will be in theme. It has to be in theme of whatever that night's theme is. Like for slashers, you could dress as a final girl. Or since it's Friday the 13th, and happy Friday the 13th, by the way, you can dress you can dress as Jason or Jason's mom or one of the final girls from one of the many Friday the 13th, something like that. So you'd also get a prize for that, and you also can get bonus points. There will also be recommended cocktails in theme and mocktails if you don't want. Angela liked that idea. That's not a lot of people go, okay, yeah, I'm in. Oh, yeah. But themed cocktails that will go along with each night's theme. So we already have some great ones that have come in, and we will make sure that there is a way that you can have a mocktail as well if you don't want to drink, or if you are 18 plus, but you're not 21 plus. So we do ask, though, that if you are going to consume any of the cocktails, that you are 21 or over. Okay. So that's going to try to get us out of any kind of thing, but it's just going to be a lot of fun. So once again, I'll post that link here shortly. Also, since we are doing a live stream here, I don't know how much the bingo card will come in, but I'm posting it in the chat. I'll post it again here in a couple minutes too. I know, of course, we've mentioned horror, so you've got horror movies on there. So you've got that. I'm going to say We All Laughed. And of course, Supernatural is the Give Me. So you have that. So, yes, so I'm sure we'll go on some other little tangents and all that kind of jazz. So, yeah, so if you want to play along, bingo card is there for a chance to win. I'm going to be giving you one of those horror themed pins, is what we're going to be giving away now. Okay, so our topic tonight is female gamers. And I'm not a female gamer, although I've been told by my panelists that I am a gamer because of the games I chose, but I don't consider myself like a passionate female gamer. But I thought this would be a fun conversation just because I know this is kind of a world that can be hard for women to get into when they've got men gatekeeping it a lot. So we're going to talk about that, talk about some of Paula and Angela's favorite games, that kind of stuff. And in the comments, people can feel free to name any games they love to play, any experiences they've had, that kind of stuff. But before we do that, Angela, if you want to tell me what you're into right now in pop culture.
Hi, so as Erin said, I'm Angela. So what I'm into pop culture right now is, oh, I still need to buy tickets to watch The Free Guys with Ryan Reynolds. So I haven't yet, though. I heard many good things about it, and also who doesn't love Ryan Reynolds? So, so that's what I was like, you know what? I mean, I was going to just ditch y'all and just go to the AMC, but I ain't a bitch. I'm just gonna write this out with you guys. So,
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for putting us above Ryan Reynolds. We appreciate
it does look
that.
like a fun movie.
Yeah.
we could just all go. We could just go after this,
Just all go. Okay. And Paula, what are you into right now?
Honestly, lately I've just been reading a lot of fanfic. I mean, so fanfic authors, you guys are the best. You're
Thank
wonderful.
you.
We thank you. You're wonderful. And I've been doing a deep dive into so much fan fiction lately.
Is there a particular fandom that you've been?
Mostly supernatural, mostly Destiel. Because it makes it a little easier.
A little easier?
A little easier to take that horrible
Oh, the horrible
finale.
ending.
Yeah, because all those seriously, the fanfic authors do so much better.
Yeah.
And there are so many wonderful fix and just great stories anyway. Just even of the canon genre. There's so many different genres. Read the tags. There's something out there for everybody in the fan fiction. And whatever fandom you're in, there's great authors out there. If you haven't given it a try it out. It's great.
Very true. Yeah, and there's another bingo square.
Honestly, though, like fan fiction and Arthur, they need to start. We need to talk about that. They need to be in some sort of taking over screenwriters' jobs. The supernatural ones, screenwriter. All of that. Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well, we have talked about fanfic before, and we did cover Destiel fanfic during Pride Month. We did actually do a live stream covering 91 Whiskey, which I don't know if you've read that one, Paula.
I haven't yet.
Yeah, it's an AU, so it's not it's an alternate universe one. So yeah.
It's definitely on my list.
Okay, well, awesome. And there's another bingo square for you because I said awesome, which basically that should be the freebie because I say awesome all the time, as everybody knows. Okay, and what I'm into is all I've been watching is stuff for the podcast, so I really have rarely been able to watch anything else. Or, I've been binging True Blood, which I have to say, even though I was relieved to be done with Ryan Murphy shows because my psyche just couldn't take it anymore, I'm really kind of sick of True Blood by now. So glad we're going to be recording that. That's our next episode that will air. So yeah, but what I'm into right now is, since it's Friday the 13th, so this is only good for the live stream. So I'm going to have to probably delete this when I edit the podcast episode. But there's a sale going on right now on Vudu for you can buy the first 8 Friday the 13th movies for $13 total. So that's 8
Oh, wow.
movies for $13. And that lasts until 12 o'clock Pacific time. I jumped on that so fast. And we are covering Friday the 13th in October because we're going to be covering paranormal films and then slasher films. So that should be a really, really good discussion. I'm very excited to cover slashers. So that'll be a ton of fun. Okay, so let's get into female gaming. And what I first want to know, Angela, what is like the first, if you remember, what are some of the first games that you got into?
I think everybody remember the Game Boy where the little small cube, and you can't see it unless there's lights on it. Horrible to do it during road trips during the night. So there's that. Now I'm trying to remember the first game that I was a kid. So of course, my strict Catholic mom didn't want me to play anything violent game, even though the small cube was just, pixel bloods, and it doesn't really make a difference. But so actually, no, I lied though. Way before the cube, what is that PlayStation's I know, sorry, it's Friday. Also, it's Friday
okay.
13. My mind is just, what is that game called where you have to like blow it if it doesn't
blow it?
Of course, I had to make the dirty joke. Be the first one to make a dirty joke.
You have to blow something in order to get
It's like
to get to rise. Is it to get something to rise? You have to blow it. Sorry,
it's that little game thing. It's like, I think it's PlayStation. It's PlayStation, the really old one where you like sometimes hard to work, and then you have to take it out and blow
you're
on it.
talking Nintendo. It was the original NES system.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
yes.
when the cartridges wouldn't, it was this thing when the cartridges wouldn't work because sometimes you'd put them in and they wouldn't work right. You'd take it out and you'd blow on the connectors for some reason. I don't know because everybody says
to blow to play.
You had to blow on the connectors and then put it back in the machine to get it to work. That was the original Nintendo. The original Nintendo.
Okay.
Yes. There's
okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that was
I
funny.
cannot remember. It's just been such a long time. I just remember what it looks like.
That was funny because I was just picturing you had to blow on something to get it to move, and I'm like, that's a hard game. Jeez.
that would be Wii. That would be the.
Because you had the Wii, like you did,
Yeah,
and hi, Panda.
You actually had to do that.
Yeah.
That thing frustrates me. That was quite a workout, and then I think I have so many of little weed people that I think I spent more time of just creating that weed character than actually playing the game. Because then I wanted I want a fat one, I want a skinny one, I want the one with the one-legged thing, and I was like, oh my god, if you do this. I don't know why I'm getting off topics of things, but yes,
that's on topic. What are you talking about? It's on topic.
Well, you were asking me what's the first game that
That's okay. Played? It's still on topic. It's about games. It's okay. And Panda, if you are a gamer or if you ever played games, feel free to put that in there. I'm gonna really date myself when I talk about
Candy Crush is a game too, y'all. It's totally fine.
I love Candy Crush.
I played Candy Crush, Bejeweled, all those kinds of games.
Oh yeah, Bejeweled is so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, Paula, what is the first game you remember?
Okay. Again, I'm gonna date myself here a little bit.
I will too when I say so.
I started actually playing computer games before I played console. The original Nintendo was our first system, but we played what was referred to as shareware games. So it was somebody would get a copy of it, and then you could share it with whoever you wanted for free. And there was it wasn't illegal. It wasn't pirating. This was the purpose of the game, or purpose of these types of games. They were called shareware, so you could share them with all your friends and whatnot. And there was a couple of them that we played. One of them was it was this goofy little game called Commander Keen, and it was this little kid who was it was like this make-believe world that this little kid was in, and his kind of think of if you ever thought of like, or if you know what the Calvin and Hobbes cartoon is, or comic is, where he would be Spaceman Spiff. It was kind of reminiscent of that, where he's just this little kid and he's in this like dream world or make believe world, and he's fighting these aliens. And there was this whole series of them, and my sister and I would play him, and we'd they had this like little alien language that we spent like hours decoding and figuring out the alphabet so that we could read all the little signs and everything. That was one of the first games I remember playing.
Never heard of that.
Most people haven't. That's how long ago it was.
Honestly, though, since you mentioned it, computer game. Oh my! Like back then. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I don't know if. I wonder if you remember some sort of all the sites that a lot of people back then, like, they create their own game and then they put it in this very popular sites that people actually go in and play that game. There was so many.
I don't, because this was actually, again, dating myself, pre-internet. So this was stuff that my dad was actually the one that got me and my sister started gaming, because he would play these games and he would bring them home from work. Somebody at work that or whoever would bring these and share them with him, and then he'd bring them home and play. So yeah, so this was before internet. Our first like internet service was Prodigy, which was basically just like message boards. Remember Prodigy?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
AOL was the thing I was normally on, but Prodigy.
We never did AOL. Yeah, we went for Prodigy too. I don't even remember. So yeah, so this was, I mean, my dad built my first computer, and so we're talking shareware on floppy disks.
Oh
yeah, this wasn't something that you could
that's
share.
possible?
Yeah.
On a floppy disk?
Yeah, floppy disk.
You could do a lot on
little
floppy
3.5
disks.
or 5.5 discs. I mean, some of those discs were this big, and you would have to copy them onto the disk, and then you could share them with your friends. And yeah. Real old.
I just love Angela's
real
face.
Old school.
Angela's face is the best.
Yeah.
Right now.
So we played that one, and the other one I remember a lot was Wolfenstein, which.
Oh yeah, I played Wolfenstein.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes, I loved that game.
I didn't play the old version. I played the newest one, but I would like to hear what the back then of the old version of Wolfensteins are like. Tell me.
I don't remember it very well.
I think on one of the newer iterations, I think there's I want to say that there was like an Easter egg or something where you could actually go and play the original version of it. It was on one of the Game Boys, one of the Nintendo systems, one of the handheld systems had it. But we played it on we played it on the PC, the very old school.
Oh my God.
It was and this was before you could save games. So if you died, you had to start all over again and do the whole thing. So my sister and I would tag team when we would start playing, and then when one of us would get tired, we'd switch off. And we play. Yeah. And we did that. We did that with my dad too, because one Christmas we got Atari system. She got an Atari 6400, I think, and I got an Atari XE, which had a keyboard so you could do programming on it. But again, no memory, so there was no way to save. So you had this little book that you could do these programs, but you couldn't save anything. And I think it was to kind of, if you wanted to learn how to program things. But I had this game Load Runner. And there was like 300 levels or something crazy like that. And my dad and my sister and my dad's like, let's see how far we can get. And we spent an entire weekend doing this Load Runner marathon. Because again, couldn't save games. So we would switch off. We did this entire weekend, drove my mother crazy. And we would one of us would play as many levels as we could, and then we'd hand it off to the next person. And we just and then we would sit there and we'd watch each other playing it. It was great.
That's awesome.
Honestly, Paula, I think you are the legit female gamer here.
I don't know about that.
I don't. Honestly, though, you're a lot tougher than I don't think I could do that. Nope. Yep. So
Yeah.
honestly, I would like to comment on Panda.
Yeah, I was just gonna
comments.
put what Panda's up there. Yeah, go ahead and
So, which Sonic Hedgehog are we talking about? Are we talking about the PC game? Because I played the fuck out of that PC game.
so
Are we talking
yeah,
about
just let us know which one, Panda.
which one it is? Because like, oh my god, I miss that game, and I really wish that I had like, find that the game again and play it on my computer. And
You
oh,
might be able to find an emulator and do that. A lot of the old school games they have emulators for.
yes, must do it then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, while we wait for Panda to let us know which version that was. I played a lot of, like, we got an Atari when we were young, and we got the Atari where you put the game in there and you hooked it up to your regular TV. It wasn't hooked up to, like, it was like hooked up like you would cable almost. And I remember we even hooked it up to a television where you had the knob that you turned.
Yep. Yep.
And Centipede was my favorite, and then Pac-Man. So this is really dating.
Yeah.
And there's this, I haven't been there in forever, so I don't know if it's still there, but there was this bar that opened up downtown called One Up, and it's a place where you can play. Have you been there, Angela?
Yes, in 2 locations.
Okay, yeah, and you can play like these old school games there, and it's so awesome.
I must visit this place. Sounds
it's awesome. And
you want to go after this live?
Angela's just trying to make all these plans for us. She's like, let's go.
I mean, like, do you think it's like a hot chocolate? Nope, Spike. I'm ready.
But yeah, those were the ones, and then Wolfenstein, like you mentioned, and then I think I played, because maybe I got the two confused, but I think I also used to play Doom, like in the really early days of Doom, because I loved all those games where you shot up people.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible, but I did. I loved those games, and they were so much fun. And yeah, my dad was into that stuff. My dad fixed computers for a living, and he did all that kind of stuff. So my dad actually used to do like internet stuff before there was really internet. Like, he would show me all these things that he could do, and he'd build computers too, just like your dad, and did all that kind of stuff. And he was really into those things. And then one time we were supposed to, for Christmas, get like a new Nintendo, and we had someone break into our house right around Christmas and steal all our Christmas presents.
Oh,
sorry, that's really a sad story. But so it was sad, because when we learned that we were going to have that, and then anyway, but yeah, those were the ones that I was really into, especially Centipede. I used to play Centipede for hours and hours and hours, and then when I got older, I would play Wolfenstein and all of that kind of stuff. Those were really, really fun.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if any of these are also your favorites. But Angela, what are some of your favorite games to play, like even now or whatever?
Honestly, I feel so bad for even like being on this broadcast, because it has been a while.
That's fine. You can give older
been like
ones.
3-4 years. I mean, do I count playing the arcade game as a
Yes,
Absolutely.
because like, I don't know, because the last game that I played was, because it was on my birthday for it was at the Littleton. Oh my god, what is that place called in Littleton? Round One. They had the
in the south.
Yes, south west,
South Clyn or
south, yes,
whatever. Everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes. But everybody knows what Round One is. So
everyone here in Colorado, there are a lot of people that listen that aren't in Colorado, but yes.
Well, Round One is like, there's some in California.
Well, they're national. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so it's like it's popular. I mean, not that popular. I mean, sorry, Round One. Wasn't trying to.
It's okay. They're not sponsoring us. And after this, they definitely
probably won't.
Well, I was gonna say, and Aaron, I think you're gonna just like this. They literally have a big Plant versus Zombie games.
Oh, they do.
They do.
I love
and like, it's like
Zombie.
3D, so you have the guns, or like the little popper thing that the flowers like poop out from the mouth. I don't know what it's called, but
like the pea shooters. It's like pea shooters.
Yeah, the pea shooters. So that was the last game that I played. I know I was super high on my birthday too, so I can barely remember. But honestly, it's my favorite games. And I thought it's so hard to just talk about because like, are we talking about like our childhood play? And then
Any game that is your absolute favorite. What's your, like, if you were to, like, right now, if I were to say, Angela, you have to go for the next hour and play your favorite game to play, what would you play?
okay, sorry to be that old school though, but I really loved Sonic the Hedgehog
See,
PC game.
that's why she wants to know which one, Panda.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the answer, Panda. What are we talking of? Which game? Which version? So, but you know, as I was growing older, I have like the GameCube, and I played One Piece and Naruto for that long while, and then there were, Assassin's Creed, and I got into Assassin's Creed because when I moved out, I was allowed to play all those violent games. So we got the Assassin's Creed and Skyrims and all that stuff. So honestly, but still, like deep down, Sonic the Hedgehog, the PZ version. So
I loved. It was the Sega Mega Drive, a console, if that's what they were called 20 years ago. Not
Yeah.
sure.
I have never played that one though, but I'm pretty sure it would be so amazing. Oh my goodness. Yes, honestly, I am so excited for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I know.
Was there already one? Is there like a second one or something?
Yeah, it's the second one. It has been, and I guess what is this who is this hot guy named that recently played from Suicide Squad?
I haven't seen Suicide Squad yet. So.
But you know who plays? But you know, like all the famous the Elba.
Idris Elba?
Huh?
Idris Elba?
Yes.
We both said it at the same time, like twice.
Like
he's gonna be Knuckles, so he just announced like he's gonna be Knuckles. Like we're gonna get a second Hedgehog movie, so I'm so excited.
I thought you meant like someone that was brand new, and that's why I was like, I haven't seen it, so I thought you meant like a brand new actor who was like not known yet.
I don't think there's any brand new actress in the new oh my god, I'm getting
Suicide Squad.
Yes. Okay, I need to stop drinking, but I am like talking. So, but yes, like I don't think because like I feel like James Gunn has been reusing all the characters from Guardians of the Galaxy and his other work and Thor to like Suicide Squad. Honestly, I found that. Well, we can talk about that in a different podcast if you wanted to.
There was a tangent. That was a big time tangent.
Sorry. Okay.
And no, I was like going along with you, and then I'm like, oh yeah, wait, that's what we're talking about.
We haven't forget you, Paula.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah. So Paula, what are some of your favorites?
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see. One of my all-time favorites is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Those 1 and 2, those were some great games. Played a lot of the first Halo for Xbox when that came out because we did a lot of LAN parties, which is again before everybody was playing on the internet. We would get together. One of my friends was manager of a video game store. And so we would get together and we'd have LAN parties. So we would hook up 4 Xboxes. We'd have about 16 of us, and we would do the PvP stuff. So we'd be shooting each other. There was different versions. You could play capture the flag, or you could just shoot each other and try to rack up points. There was King of the Hill, all kinds of stuff. Had a blast. That was like every weekend we were doing this. I play a lot of wide variety of stuff. I love playing The Sims. Harvest Moon is another one of my favorites. It's a simulation type game where it's you're on a farm like taking over grandpa's farm or something like that, and you got to bring it back, and there's like these quests and things like that you have to do. Animal Crossing, I've always loved Animal Crossing. I've played it since the beginning. And then I also play a lot of or play MMOs as well. Final Fantasy 11 was the first MMO that I ever played. Loved that game so much. Haven't played it in a few years, but
There's so
yeah,
many.
that was one of my favorites. Because I loved when I play the MMOs, I love doing the crafting. There's always there's quests that you can do in MMOs. And an MMO it's a massive multiplayer online RPG game. Um, for anybody that doesn't know what those are. So you can do quests. There's usually a main storyline, so there's quests to do. They usually have a PvP element because there's a lot of people that like to do PvP stuff. There's usually some kind of a crafting system so you can make items that you need in game, whether it's like armor or weapons or food, because a lot of times your characters have to use food for various things. And sometimes it's just like decorative stuff. And Final Fantasy 11 had one of the best crafting systems, and it was so much fun. There was even like gear that you could wear to improve your stats when you were doing stuff. And it was always more impressive the people that were crafting that would earn that gear, because you had to earn it. You couldn't just buy it or get it. And those people that got that type of gear was always more impressive than the guys that were running the dungeons picking up gear for PvP or whatnot. So that kind of stuff was always fun. But so a little bit of everything. I like all those kinds of games. So yeah.
Well, and Panda's saying me too, and then the one from 20 years ago, can't remember the version of, and I'm not sure which, because I know sometimes we're a few seconds ahead, so I'm not positive which game that was that she might have been.
There's so many of Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts was another one. Yes. Yes. Played some World of Warcraft, but not as much as Final Fantasy. Is that one?
There's also the new games that people have been playing, which is the League of Legends, and I was going to get into that as well. Then I realized that my laptop is not like capable of doing that. So I was like, darn.
Yeah, I had to upgrade my laptop
because
I wasn't able
to do new gamings. Like you have to update everything to make sure you have like enough space for it. And just when I'm about to build my computer, I'm gonna have to like think about all of that too. It's like, oh god, that's
yeah, things you have to take into consideration when you're a gamer. You have to make sure you've got up-to-date systems.
Yeah. I mean, anything with the computer is expensive.
The great thing about just building your computer is like like what you want and need and just build on it, and then whenever it needs some new upgrades, it's like great. Like I kind of knew where this part is. I can just like get rid of it or sell it, and then like upgrade to a new ones and stuff like that. So compared to just like already getting it pre-made and you don't know much about it and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about this. My brother has been building 3 of them already, so I'm just like, teach me, senpai.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, my favorite, other than Centipede, I mean, Centipede really is my all-time favorite.
Nothing wrong with the classics.
I love that game so much. And I love Pac-Man. I just do love Pac-Man. I think it's fun. It can drive you nuts, but I do love it.
Yeah.
But I think Plants vs. Zombies, like we already mentioned that before. I love that game. And when I finally defeated Plants vs. Zombie version 1, when I finally, you get up on the roof and then like that big alien ship comes down and places all the alien zombies or so, I don't know. And you finally defeat that level and then the big ship like collapses back and stuff. That was like the best feeling. And then you can play the other games, like the little mini ones. Like they have a mini one where you can pretend you're a zombie. So you want to be the zombie and you want to eat the plants. and that one's fun, and you just do different levels and stuff like that. And then there's Plants vs Zombies 2, which I've tried. I just can't get into it as much because I don't know what it is about it. I have trouble with it. There's like different planets that you go to or something, and I think it's harder. I don't know. So yeah, that's not really, yeah, but I like the original one. So yeah, I've defeated it a couple times since then. It's not as exciting when you defeat it the second time as the first time, because that takes forever, but I love that game. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I am so sorry. I'm trying not to. I'm moving my computer just because my cat is licking his thing, so I don't want people to see. He's having his moment.
You want to protect your cat's privacy? That's hilarious.
Hey, it's better than sometimes if he's in the mood, it's like he'll start humping my blanket. I'll be like, privacy. I can't even get out of this room. Oh God! So luckily he's not doing that tonight because he has, my attention, and so he only does that when he's alone and then he feels sad and then he starts humping. But honestly, you don't really need to know about my cat. What are you talking about?
Wow, that's more information than I ever thought I'd hear about Angela's cat. But you're a good cat mom. You're preserving his privacy.
Gotta do though.
That's hilarious.
One of these days, I'm like this broadcast that you're gonna do is gonna just be like famous, and I'll be like, nobody needs to know about my cat. Protected like Michael Jackson would protect his kids. Put a blanket on top of him.
I'm just picturing that comes out in the tabloids. What is Angela's cat doing? What is she trying to hide from us?
None of your business.
Be a docu-series. Anyway, there's another fun tangent. So I want to know because, I've heard, I'm not, I don't know because I haven't experienced it personally, but what is it like? Have you had any bad experiences being a woman in the gaming world? Because I know there was Gamergate not too long ago, and people do have a lot of gatekeeping when it comes to this. And I know there's also a lot of problems. There was one recently where, trigger warning just for mentioning this, we won't get too in depth in this, but there's also been a lot of stories coming out of like a lot of the people who create these games and a lot of those companies. There's a lot of really bad stuff with sexual harassment, sexual assault, that kind of stuff going on with women that are working in that field. So have you experienced anything negative, Angela?
Not. I remember just being as a kid back then, like I played a lot of computer games, but this is the game that I was talking to Paula about. I cannot remember what the site was called. Whatever. It had a picture of a tank as a logo. And so it's just one of those games that, you can just play. And it's also one of those games that you don't really know. Oh, sorry. It's one of those games that, I was like hearing anything. What is that? It's like, of like, whatever you play, you click, like you don't know what to expect. And so there was some games that, I, played with other people on that site. And, me being as a kid, because like I didn't know, I think I was probably only like 12 years old. So still very young. And so, and then me being closed off because my parents would not let me, exposed to all these kind of like games, like, so me being curious makes me even more vulnerable and so, I remember just like seeing all these comments of like, of guys who are older, saying like, oh my God, like, and the thing is, on me being dumb, I also had like my full age as well in my picture, because like I thought that being honest was like, I didn't know about, protecting my identities and stuff. So I had so many comments and so many of like, it's like, you're too, you're a girl, you don't you don't know what we're talking about. And most of them also were like, you're kind of cute. I wanted to hit you up. I know you're this young, but I don't care. The fact that you're playing this game means that you're old enough to like, you know,
Mhm.
consent to whatever we're gonna throw at you. So honestly, I was just, I don't know. I can only imagine, if I start playing League of Legend of all or any of the steaming games, I know for the fact that I will start having more of like harassments and like, like of all the comments that guys would just made or like, oh, you're not good enough to be a gamer because you're a woman. And for me also, I noticed some of my gamer friends also, especially Asian women in general, just because we do have a lot of people who are so like obsessed with just Asian women. I don't know. I mean, I would blame anime and mangas and all the weeaboo, which it's totally fine. You can love whatever you want. It's just like the fact that like they expect us to as a gamer to like I I remember one of my friends experienced like that she got a comment from a guy that she has to dress like really cute like an anime girls while she plays the games, and it makes it more entertainment for them. And it was just honestly, it just sometimes makes me feel like I just don't want to even be a female gamer sometimes, just like, but I feel like a lot of female gamers do play all of these games just so that we can show these people like we're more than this, so did I just vent? Did I
No,
answer the
that was what
question?
you were supposed to. Yes, you did.
Oh,
Because
okay.
very much so. Yeah, because I mean, it's like a fetish. It's fetishizing somebody. Is what it sounds like people are doing. And I mean, you see it everywhere. We've talked about it on a lot of things where people do have, fetishes that are not okay because they're fetishes that play into racial stereotypes or stereotypes that people, and they're racist in and of themselves, the stereotypes they've created. I mean, you even look at Supernatural. I mean,
Mhm,
Supernatural has that big time, but Dean has a whole thing about that where he's always with the busty Asian beauties kind of thing. And so so yeah, so that doesn't surprise me that you run into that a lot. I think, the internet is a great, wonderful thing. We wouldn't be here doing this right now without the internet. But it's like this thing that opened this big, huge portal and this big, huge doorway for even more predators and even more scumbags and even people that might
mhm,
have never been like out and open about their predatory behavior. But in that anonymity of the internet, people feel more free to do that.
mhm,
And when you're entering something that the media and society, excuse me, tells you is more of a male thing, gaming, which that's just what people do. They say this is a male thing. Men are the ones that are really into this, not women. Girls don't play these games. It's that same kind of thing of like girls don't play sports. It's that same, narrow-minded
mhm,
thinking. And so when you have women entering that world, and if they get any attention, people don't like that. That's like, people pay attention to fanboys a lot more and in a different way than they do fangirls. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like with horror as well. It's still hard as a woman to be able to have a voice in that community because people do want to drown you out in that community, even though statistically more women watch horror than men.
mhm,
But at the same time, because it's been thought of as such a male thing, those voices get drowned out. So it's the same kind of, it's just a pervasive thing in society where if it's something that for some reason people have pigeonholed as being a male thing, then men will use that as a way to either be like, okay, if you're going to be in this world with me, then you have to either dress a certain way to pique
mhm,
my interest because this is all about me, not about you, or I'm going to harass you. I'm going to say, well, you shouldn't be here anyway. Or if I see you do something else that I think you're good at, that's what you should really be doing. You shouldn't be doing this, especially if it's something that's thought of as female. So yeah, it makes total sense. It's sad, but it makes total sense. And it makes total
Yeah.
sense why you would want to avoid that. So
Yeah, I mean, like it's right. Like you said, like the men's thinks that games is just it's a men things, and the moments that someone like a woman is like enter the game, they felt threatened, and then like they felt like the only way that they could try to like get that power back is to just like belittle us and just like you know just all of that. So it's just disgusting. It's just like so. And honestly, like I was talking, and you did point out some other things about, Supernatural, of how Dean does have the Asians, girls magazine, and it does hurt for someone like me a lot, just because like, and I think I did talk about this from the last live, Aaron, about like how I felt like there was not enough Asian Asian representatives. I can't remember.
representation.
Yes, into like films of like them being a hero. But we always were, placed as either the bad villain, the side character, or, you know, prostitutes or whores or all that stuff. So, it makes sense of, in the gaming world, like that's what males would see us if they see me, like Asian women's like, why are you here? You should either like, like do all of this stuff, like either just, good in bed, good in stuff, but you would never be good in games. So it's just, it's a lot. So,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah. Yeah. And we've actually talked about that on a few recent episodes. When we were talking about Ryan Murphy, we talked about a lot of how bad Ryan Murphy's representation is, and when it comes to Asians as well, his representation there and how many stereotypes he's played into, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's something that's pervasive, and sadly, I mean, I think there of course there's a little bit of progress from, like 1900s or whatever, but but that's kind of sad because I don't think it's that much progress in some respects. So yeah. And Paula, have you experienced any negatives?
I can't think of any specific instances, just because I've always been very leery of gaming with people that I'm not familiar with online. I'm more of an introverted personality anyway, so I tend to stick to my friends, or my husband, when we're online playing, just because it's more comfortable, which I guess that's kind of a negative in and of itself, because I'm not comfortable putting myself out there with strangers very much, unless I'm with someone I know is kind of a safety net. Um, so I can't really think of anything specific, but there's always just that general feeling sometimes of a kind of, especially early on, again with the online games, there was no voice chat either, so it was easier to hide that you're female. And so there was always the assumption that everybody around you is male, unless it was like male unless proven otherwise. And you never would just volunteer that information if it was somebody you didn't know, until you'd been gaming with them for a little while, so you could kind of get a feel for what kind of person you're around before you volunteer that information. Not so much now, because everybody games on voice chat, and um, the only instances I can think of really now is just, um, now, with the whole COVID thing, my friend group, we try to get online a lot, because we're all in different places. Some of us are in state, some of us are out, and we would try to find all these little party games where we could just kind of all get together and hang out for an hour or two. And some of those games, you'd need extra players to come in and play, and so we'd open it up for other people, and we just get some people that were just vulgar, just to be vulgar and inconsiderate and whatnot, and not necessarily specifically towards us, any one person, but it was just an overall feeling of just uncomfortable. So we would just, I mean, that was just something that, it was an unspoken between all of us. It was just automatically those people were just gone from the group. We would kick them out and let someone else come in, and so we were able to filter that. But it's more of just that feeling of I don't feel comfortable putting myself out there with strangers. So, even like there's a new game that's going to be coming out within the next couple of months. It's an MMO, and we're all looking forward to it. And my friend group, well, most of us are going to be playing it, and my husband's going to be playing it. And so we're talking. You can form, and again, in a lot of these MMO type games, you can form like guilds or groups. Um, Almost kind of like a club, if you will, of you can have certain members in your group so that those groups can do things together, and there's usually going to be some kind of cooperation within those groups. And I'm glad that my friend group is playing this game, because I don't want to have to join another group to be able to do these things, because I don't know these people and I don't know how I'm going to be received. But with my friends, we kind of set the stage and we set the tone, and the people that we bring in, we can screen and determine if they're a good fit for us. And, and if we start getting those types of people that are going to be gatekeeping or judgmental or harassing, we can get rid of them. The only problem is they're still going to be in that game world. We might still have to deal with them, but we can still kind of, control our experience a little bit. And that's unfortunately a risk you take, especially with those games that you're online with people a lot. Some of the more single player type games, it's not as big of a deal. But it's, yeah, it's just an overall uncomfortable feeling a lot of time for me.
Mhm.
Even just the thought of dealing with people that I don't know. And I don't like that. It shouldn't be like that for anybody. So,
I know you mentioned earlier, saying that, you thought that was negative to, um, to be around with someone that you know. And I'm just telling you that that's not, that's, it's your preference, is, it's all of that stuff. And I honestly work better with people that I, you know, know.
yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I just get a bit competitive and I just want to fight someone, and then that's when I do anything.
It's protection and self-preservation.
Yeah. And what I
Exactly.
mean by it being a negative is it's sad in the fact that we have to be proactive in that way. It shouldn't be that way, but it
Mhm.
is. And that's what I mean when that's a negative is I shouldn't have to feel that I have to take extra steps that my husband doesn't have to take when he is playing the
Mhm.
same game. He's already putting himself out there, chatting with groups, chatting with YouTubers that are putting out information on the game that they've learned and whatnot. And I would never do that. So I let him do all that, and then I get the information from him because I'm not comfortable doing that and
Mhm.
never have been. So yeah. So
And I mean,
that's just it. And unfortunately, it's not just in gaming either. There's a
no.
lot of
Mhm.
things that are like that for women.
Yeah,
So
that's just like, it's the whole thing when, a lot of people wonder why women a lot of times will go to the bathroom in groups, especially if you're like at a club or at a bar or something. And
mhm.
it's specifically for safety. It's not just to go in there and do your
Mhm.
makeup, it's for safety. It's the same thing with like, if you go to a bar, you never ever want some stranger or any person to really get you, any man to get you a drink because you don't know what they're going to put in it. You want to watch that drink. So it's that same kind of thing where there's all these precautions that I don't think some men are really aware of all the things that women have to do and have to be aware of. And, you get catcalled when you walk down the street, you get all this kind of stuff. So it's hard because there aren't as many safe places as a woman, and you have to think about that stuff. Whereas, most men don't have to think about that, so it's something that we have to think about. And then when you're in this kind of world, you really have to think about it too, because like I said, you're in this land, this virtual world where you don't know, who these people really are. You don't know what information they could find out about you. And also because they have that cloak of anonymity, kind of,
Yeah.
even though it might be taken down because they're speaking, they still have a little bit of that. So people, I think, are a lot different online sometimes than they are in real life, or they're letting a different part of themselves out. It's the same thing. Like, I get all these random friend requests from men. I have no idea who they are. They're not friends with anyone I'm friends with. And I always ignore them because I'm like, I don't know who you are. And it's kind of creepy to me.
It's very creepy.
It's one thing on Twitter, because Twitter, I think of it's kind of different. So when someone follows me on Twitter, that's totally different. But on Facebook, even though Facebook has a myriad of issues, it still feels a little bit more like, that's where you share like your family stuff and this stuff. And so for some person to try to kind of get into that feels really invasive. And I mean, I never have really played games in a community, but I did used to play, and I don't know if anyone else did any like real person gaming, like RPG,
board
where you,
Oh yeah, I
where
still
you're
do.
playing
Yeah.
like a person and real
Mhm.
person, like role play gaming kind of
Yeah.
thing, like and I know there's a lot of like on Twitter, actually, on our fandom thing account, there's quite a few people that play like Halloween, like their characters from Halloween, mainly the first Halloween. And so they all like follow me and I follow a bunch of them. I think it was because I was talking about Halloween or something, but it's really interesting to watch them because they'll be doing that. Like they're playing like, like they're in the game, like they're in the movie, I mean.
Mhm.
And I know one thing that I did for a little bit, and this was during the time of AOL, so this was a long time ago, was vampire role playing. So you'd be like,
Okay.
there'd be like groups where people would pretend to be like, they'd meet a vampire and someone would be the vampire. And that got a little bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. It
I've
got a
read some
little
stories.
weird. Yeah. I
I've
was
read
kind of
some
like,
stories.
okay, it got a little bit dark, and I like dark, but that was yeah. And I'm into kinky weird stuff, but probably shouldn't put that on YouTube. But I know. Well, you were on our BDSM episode, so but still there can be some things that were a little bit uncomfortable. So this is not on that line, but since I brought that up, so you both have done RPG stuff then?
I have.
Yeah. Have you,
Still
Angela?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore for me though, but it's been a while. Yes.
Yeah. But you still do it, Paula?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be in a game tomorrow. I have 2 different games, pretty much one every weekend almost. Yeah.
And is it just
So.
like, are you like, what is the kind of, I mean, yeah, it has as much as you want to say, but what is the kind of real RPG stuff that you do?
So, my friend Paul actually, he runs most of our games. He's running a Dungeons and Dragons game for us, and then he also, he and another friend of mine, they've created their own game system based off of tarot cards. It's more of a storytelling system versus like Dungeons and Dragons is more dice and more geared towards battles.
Oh,
And it's called Turn of the Card, if I can plug that. It's a great system if you really like more role play and whatnot. And like I said, it's based off of tarot cards. So if you have a tarot card deck, you're ready to go. You can do it for any system. We've done it. We've done a supernatural game. We've done Star Wars. We've done all kinds of different stuff. So whatever you can think of, you can do with it. Um, and um, I'm sorry, I lost track of what the question was.
the RPG stuff.
And I play with it's mostly just with our friend group. He lives out of state. I have friends that live in state, and this is actually something we started doing a lot more when the lockdown happened, because we also used to live close by, and so we would get together like every month. We would get together and do a game, but then he moved away, and they've gotten tools now, that you can get together, because we have Zoom and different, video ways to video with each other. So there's a service called Roll 20, so you can do tabletop games in there, so everybody can be remote, and you can do your system online. So
Mhm.
we're all able to
I know, I'm just laughing at
cat
her.
cat on the screen. So we're all able to get together, and do our tabletop game, but we don't all have to be in the same room. So that's what we did a lot during lockdown. We would get together every week or every 2 weeks, and we would do our tabletop gaming that way. Um, and it's been a great way for us all to, keep in touch, keep our,
Yeah.
keep socializing. Um, um, I have done very small amount of tabletop with other people. Mostly there's a local convention called Genghis Con, and it's a gaming convention locally, and there's a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and I can't remember what some of the other systems are, but um, if you want to kind of get a taste for some of that, that's a great place to go. I think they have two different ones each year. I think it's Genghis Con and Tacticon. So like one in early in the year and one later in the year. Obviously, right now they're not doing that. But when we can do conventions again, it's a great way to kind of get a taste for different games. And I've played in a Doctor Who game. I've played the Star Wars has its own system, so I've played, and it's mostly been a positive experience because it's a small gaming community locally, and everybody's pretty accepting. Um, so I haven't had any real negative experiences there either. I can only think of one time, and we had this one this one kid that was in a tabletop group, and it was more just about they were kind of almost like stealing the spotlight for themselves as much as they could. They just, it was like
Mhm.
they wanted the game to revolve around them to a certain extent, which was irritating. It wasn't anything harassment wise. So I've had a pretty positive experience with the tabletop RPG games.
Those are
um
the worst.
I can, I'm not saying that there hasn't, that there's that there's not problems, because I'm
Point,
sure there are.
counterpoint.
But personally, I haven't
Counterpoint,
had any
counterpoint.
problems. But I know that there's problems in every community. So
Yeah.
There
but
was
I myself have had a pretty positive. But again, I stick with
The people you know.
the people I know mostly. So
That's
I
part
kind
of
of I
it.
kind of
Yeah.
curate my experience as much as I can to avoid that. So
Just
I know there was I know
Your
I
cat
kn-
wants to be part of the show, but Panda said you've got a cute cat, so.
very cute.
this is Flora. She could be a gamer too. She wants to.
She looked like when you did that, she was like,
No. But what I was gonna say, I think there were. I'm sorry. Here you can go. I
And you used to do this? You used to do RPG stuff, Angela, but you don't anymore, right?
don't remember. It was just long time ago. Just it was like a high school things, and I just stopped. And I think it was just high school too. I don't know. Maybe I just always like hang out with the wrong kind of people that just like to just bully me or something. But I just couldn't even like do it. It was just a long time. Also, I was also playing like I was also pretty good at Yu-Gi-Oh cards too. So that's probably why they also got pissed. So
They were jealous.
Yeah.
They were just
that's what it
jealous.
is, just jealousy. I think when a woman just start playing, they'd be like, "Ah, shit, we can't beat her." So the only way to just beat her is just like see all these awful name to her and see if she freaking break.
Yeah.
So, but it is, I honestly, I've been like you, Paul, I've been wanting to just try to, like, maybe I should just go to someone that I care about and like that I'm used to.
Mhm.
So it's
Definitely.
it's also. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying that definitely go to someone that you know
Mhm.
that you trust to be around and get a group of people that you're comfortable with. I didn't get into tabletop RPG gaming until I was an adult. Because I wanted to when I was younger, but I was scared to because I was scared of what would happen, with the people. And I didn't really know anybody that was playing it at the time, but I still would have been too nervous to even approach it. But this was something that um I came into as an adult, and it was with my, at the time, fiance, and we had gone to a local game store, and we became friends with the owner, and he introduced us to people, and that's how met my friend Paul, and and some other people that we started playing with. Find a local game store by you,
Mhm.
and just go in there and get to know the people there, and that's a really good place to
I
start
know.
with. And
Yeah.
it's not all just kids. There's adults that
There
that
is
go there
adults
and hang
too.
out still
Mhm.
too,
Mhm.
and that's probably your best bet. Try some of the adults that,
Mhm. I
I would
know.
hope would be,
I
a little more accepting, but yeah, and there's several game stores
yeah.
to try.
I know my boyfriend. I guess like last year, I know my boyfriend and some of our friends would actually go to some of those local video games and actually play. I'm learning to play Magic Gathering, so
Mhm. Yeah.
so.
Well, and a lot of and when I say game stores, I'm talking like not video game stores, but like board game
Yeah,
stores.
like there's
Mhm.
Because
Board Game
yeah.
Republic is really good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's Enchanted Grounds,
Enchanted Grounds is
it's really
great.
good
They
too.
have 2 locations. And there's people that'll hang out just to play board games.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And there'll be people there that'll be playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, and then, there's probably people that are looking for tabletop RPG groups. So,
Yeah.
Yes. I think going on to that part, do you guys heard about the news from like 2 years ago about what happened with Minecraft?
that's
No.
not one I've ever played, so don't
What
I,
keep up the
happened?
news on it.
well, I don't, so I was reading it and it's like apparently a mom walked into her daughter's playing Minecraft because Minecraft is like meant for like kids or adults too for friend like it's a like family friendly, yes, family
Yeah.
games.
Mhm.
And so I guess I don't know what has happened, but mom was actually walked in, and I guess the daughter was playing Minecraft, but it was also she was connected to somehow with other people, or I don't know how it happens, but she saw that the daughter started crying, and she was 9 years old. But she saw that in the picture in Minecraft there was two block people.
Is this gonna be a trigger warning thing, Angela?
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
just
You want
really
actually
quickly.
trigger warning, y'all. Sorry, probably
N
shouldn't say that. Trigger
No, that's okay.
warning.
I just wanna make sure because I had a feeling it was gonna get what's this a trigger warning for?
Uh, Rape.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yes.
I
So
just wanted to give a second before you did that because I was like, I have a feeling she's getting into something that could be triggering, so trigger warning right now
yeah. So
for
sorry
rape,
about.
for sexual assault. No, don't
Yeah.
apologize. I just wanted to make sure before you did that since we're live, so I can't, like, add that in later, so go ahead, Angela, go ahead.
Okay. So basically, she walked in, then there was this two block of people, and I don't know how it got leaked or something, but it was just showing two block people, and one guy was actually like raping this like other block person, it and this girl was only like 8 or 9 years old, and it was just so like the mom doesn't even know like how it actually got in, leaked like that. It was just like because her, and then ever since then, like the dog doesn't even want to play Minecraft because that was like trauma. you know, it's
Wow.
just like it just shows basically everything. And so I was like, it's hard because sometimes you wouldn't even know what hits you because people can hack into all these, you know, like for someone who, you know, if I start playing, like I know, like I'll start, you know, being online more and all this stuff, and then like sometimes you didn't even ask for this, but somehow they just like
Mhm.
pops out and all this stuff. So I've just, you know, that just kind of reminds me of that story 2 years ago of like what happened, like even with just kids, like you don't even
That's
know. So
that's scary. That's really
mhm.
scary. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, the internet has done amazing, wonderful things, but there are a lot of dark sides to it, and it's opened a lot of doors for a lot of predators to enter, and also just a lot of jerks. I mean, just not
Oh,
even that.
so many
You
jerks.
get, I mean, all you have to, and not even in gaming. You just look at any comments board,
Mhm.
Yeah,
any thread on Twitter, anything like that, and you have the meanest people, and people just say the worst things to each other, and it's awful, and it's because, like I said, I really think it's because people feel like it's okay in that universe to say whatever in the whatever the world you want, but it's led to a lot of tragic, awful stuff. So it's, I mean, it's a scary, scary world out there for
yeah.
sure.
When you're behind keyboard, like you
Mhm.
have protection. You can just say you can like think you can say whatever you want. Like if you're as long as you're behind the
Yeah.
keyboard, nobody knows who you are and whatever it is. It is yeah. I
Yeah.
totally understand. It's definitely dangerous. So
Yeah.
It's brought us some great things, but it's also brought out the worst in some people.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
the very worst in some people. Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to ask if there's anything. I mean, I think I kind of know the answer from what we've already been saying, but what would you like to see improved in that world, in the gaming world, Angela?
well, honestly, like, and I was just reading, and you know, I know because like don't, and I would like to admit just because like I am, it has been a while since I game, and also I'm in like the journey of also, you know, have like like a gamer as like my hobbies and stuff. Like I, you know, so I would like to admit, like, you know, I did some research, and you know, I don't want to sound like I think I know everything because I don't. So, but I don't know, like okay, so there's one stories that I like to just like talk about. Let's see. So there's this woman, her name, and this is what maybe I can probably talk about this, but let's see. I don't know if you know Jade Raymond,
Mm-mm.
but
No.
it looks like I was reading like her first project was The Sim Online. And then she quickly, as she, you know, she got good, she quickly moved up to the rank and actually, you know, she directed responsible for the whole like Assassin's Creed, you know, which is like you know, the most beloved game that everybody love. Like, and I just thought like we need more of that. More change
Mhm.
of that, of more female empowerment, of just like starting with just like some cute little cheesy sims and you know how many babies they're gonna have and all this family to like awesome like assassin games, and like it would just like everybody's play Assassin's Creed, like like I mean people still play sim, but I feel like Assassin's Creed is like, you know, that's where all the it's just like just that kind of accomplishments makes me like so happy. Like I want more of that kind of change of like now I like because I just researched that, and I know, I'm sorry, Abra, I didn't know about this, but now I do, and I just that kind of news just makes me so happy. Like it makes me like seeing her like a role model. Like I can actually like be amazing, and like, you know, that the fact if a guy wanted to just bitch about like if I suck at Assassin's Creed, I'm just gonna tell us like a woman help with the game that you're playing. Like we could do it. We are awesome. Like what the fuck are you talking about? You're like we're like, and I was reading also online that for a female like gamer who actually try to make all these games, they still are not being paid enough than compared to men who makes like a very popular game. So that kind of just pissed me off. So we need more equals pays for you know, just
Mm-hmm.
I know we were just about female gamer. I'm people who actually make the
No, it
games. The
works.
woman, like I just thought that
Mhm.
that's I don't know if that is enough for me to talk about it, but I just thought that
No, that
one
fits. That totally fits with what I was asking. Yeah, because that's
yeah
making changes in the gaming community. So
one of these days though we will dominate the games. Like we're going to be good because we're always good at everything. I mean like I don't want to be like super sexist, but we are.
we're better.
We're better.
Which is hard.
And Paula, what changes would you like to see?
Yeah, changing behind the scenes is a huge step. So, what you're talking about, Angela, with more equal pay and things like that, there's actually a um, state of California, I believe it is bringing a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard for just this reason, because they did
Mhm.
like a 2-year investigation.
Oh
There was
shit!
all kinds of horrible things going on behind the scenes, not just unequal pay, but they were like, there was all kinds of allegations of harassment. I read the actual report that they did, and the things that were happening to these women were just horrifying. It
And this
was
is Blizzard.
awful.
Holy sh!
Activision Blizzard.
Oh my goodness!
And so the I can't remember the agency, but they're bringing a lawsuit against the company, and so I'm hoping that that snowballs and other companies, because they're not the only problematic
Mm.
Oh
company.
no,
There's
there's a lot.
there's a lot of companies. I would say the majority of the
Yeah, I
companies,
think all of them have.
All of
yeah,
them.
Mhm.
um, are very problematic behind the scenes, and
Allegedly, sorry, I'll just throw that in.
allegedly,
Sorry for legality reasons. I'll just throw it. But
allegedly,
yes, yeah.
and so there needs to be a lot of change behind the scenes, and I think if that happens, women in gaming will be more accepted,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
that'll
Yes.
change the community. So it
Yes.
really needs to start behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean that's I mean, yes, that's what I've said about a bunch of different things, TV, movie, all that stuff. You have to have representation behind the scenes of things, behind whatever is creating, whatever media, whatever item you're consuming, whatever entertainment it is, and I'm including gaming in here because that's entertainment. Whatever it is, you have to have people behind the scenes that aren't just white straight men. You just
Mm.
have to, because if
Yeah.
you don't, you're not going to be representing the community at large, because it's not just white straight men that play these games. So you have to have that representation behind the scenes, and you have to have more and more of it, and have people behind the scenes, not just in lower level positions, but in higher up positions, controlling things.
Yeah.
And then that's when hopefully you'll start to make change. And, I'm a very pessimistic person. I'm not optimistic by nature. And when that thing came out, when that lawsuit, there is that hope that maybe that will bring about change. But then you're like, there's always been these
Yeah,
accusations for years and years and
realistically,
years. So it's so hard because it's so frustrating, because it's like you always feel like you're banging your head up against, like, you're
Mhm.
just banging your head against a brick wall, because it's just like they always say we're making changes. Me Too came along, and that's going to change everything. And there's still so many problems. So it's so frustrating as a woman. It's frustrating for a lot of people, because it feels like you're just constantly being pushed down. And just
And
when you think you're
fighting,
getting.
constantly fighting too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I think this documentary would work with this too. There's a documentary that Gina Davis, the Gina Davis Institute, she has that institute where she studies media and looks at, tested a lot towards the Bechdel test, and then also just sees, how many women appear and how many words they say compared to the men on screen. And then, a big way you pass a Bechdel test is if the women in the thing, if they never ever mention a man, or if they at least have one conversation that doesn't revolve around a man. And sadly, it's very rare that actually happens. And I think this also could go into the gaming community too. So it's
Mhm.
all kind of interchanged. But there was a documentary she produced called This Changes Everything that was all about that, and about how
Mhm.
when Thelma and Louise came along, everybody said that was going to change everything, and it didn't. So that's what's so frustrating, is there's always these moments that come and everybody's like, this changes everything. and then you have backslides or you have, but I just think that's the only way that maybe it will change is getting more people behind the scenes of these things and creating it and in power and not just lower levels. So
Mhm.
And we need more female indie game studios,
Yes.
because that would be a
Mhm.
huge step too. Because I
Yes.
don't think, honestly, I don't know that there are any that are run by women.
Honestly,
I don't
though,
think
if
so.
most of the games are run by women, it would be so nice. Not only that, though, I just felt like now I thought about it, like Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, you know, all of the main characters just guys, you
Mhm.
know, and so like I want all those popular like games to also have like a female lead as well, but oh, some people are gonna bitch about it once there is, and it's like just suck it up, or like have a trend characters, or have all the just all of that. Like, why does it have to? Why the main character have to be like white cis man? I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
It's
Just
the majority of games.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
99% of the games are like that.
Mhm.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah, that's why you need more representation behind and all representation.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All
Oh.
representation, not just certain representation, not just
Mm-hmm.
white women, not just white straight women, not that kind of thing. You need everybody deserves to be able to enjoy this.
Yeah.
If they enjoy it, if it's their cup of tea, they deserve to be able to enjoy it and to see themselves. So yeah, changes all around. Fits into a lot of our themes we've been
Mm-hmm.
discussing this whole year. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. I've learned that I'm actually much more of a gamer than I thought I was.
You are Erin.
And I love board games. I
Oh,
love board games.
see, you're
I could play
totally a
board games
gamer.
for
Yeah.
hours.
Mm-hmm.
I used
Love
to,
board games.
yes, I love them. I actually used to love Monopoly. I know a lot of people like
Oh, I need to introduce you to some new games then.
Well, that's not the only one, but like I love Cards Against Humanity, and there was some game because I've been to Board Game Republic a few times. I'm trying to remember this game we played there because we asked our server, what game would you recommend? We want to play something we've maybe never heard of, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was some kind of card game where you were playing with, I don't know, it was
But
elves or something.
what's the
or
rules
it
though?
was-
Because I know there's a lot of
I
games like
can't remember.
after. Okay, they're
I
just
shouldn't
so.
even brought it up because I can't even
I
remember
always
hardly any
forget
of it.
all these games like Card Against, like I know like Card Against Humanity, but like there's more after like there's like the
Oh, you mean part of Cards Against Humanity?
no, like there's
No.
like different card, like after like there's like the new like what do you meme
Yes,
card
that one's fun
game.
too. That one's fun too. There's also that do you have that cat game? It's the cards with the
The
cat.
exploding cats.
Exploding cats. Yeah. I
Yes.
got that for Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
love board games. I could play board games all
Okay.
night long.
There's this one game that I haven't even played, and I got it for like 2 years, and nobody wants to play it with me. It's a burrito game.
Why does that sound familiar to me?
It's like it's like where it has like a kilo of 2 burritos, and you throw it at people like a dodgeball. You throw it at people.
Don't know that one.
Now I don't. I must have been thinking of something else.
I'm gonna go grab it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab it. Hold up.
Angela will be right back. I feel like I should be playing that do. But that's more Jeopardy. Sorry.
Right.
Well, while
Still a
Angela's
game.
doing that, while Angela's doing that, I'll just go over a couple of quick little things. I tomorrow night, and this also, since if you're listening to this on Wednesday, so it would have already aired, but tomorrow, not night, but tomorrow afternoon, I think it should be around. Well, she's back. So just one second, Angela. I'm just going to finish this thing and then we'll get
Okay.
that. But so tomorrow after like 2 p.m., but it's going to be going on all afternoon. Twist My Arm podcast is hosting a virtual podcast convention. Even if you're not a podcaster, I think it'll be a lot of fun. If you thought of being a podcaster, if you're an indie podcaster, it's just going to be a fun little convention talking about editing tips. I'm going to be hosting a panel about interviewing people, about conducting interviews, how to be a good podcast host, how to be a better podcast host, how to conduct a good interview, an interview that where the guest that you're interviewing likes it, because I do pride myself on that. We've had I haven't done a lot of interviews lately. I miss doing interviews, but we've had some great interviews on here, and, little preview, but I'll talk about in there how I have little snippets. I'm not going to share these because they're private, but I kept little snippets of, like, after we're done with the interview, I've had people say, "Oh, that was so beautiful. That was so amazing." And I've kept that as ways of, like, self-encouragement, like, yes, give yourself a pat on the back, but how to kind of get to that point where you do get that feedback, or where you do enjoy it, or where the person you're interviewing enjoys it. So that's going to be my panel, is going to be focusing a lot on that. And how to be a better podcast host. But like I said, they're going to do editing. They're going to do something about how to do outreach, how to get a bigger audience, using social media and stuff. So here's a link just to the Twitter post about this. So feel free to visit that there, and follow their YouTube page, Twist My Arm Podcast. Follow their YouTube page, and the YouTube streams will be just showing up throughout the day. And then, like I said, you can watch them later. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday, you can go back to their YouTube page and watch them there. And Panda loves Monopoly. See, I'm not the only one who loves Monopoly.
Sir.
Hey. Wow. I used to make my friends play when I was young. I'd make them play Monopoly for like hours, and they would hate me. But yeah, and then the game of life too. I love the game of life.
I'm only saying that. I'm only saying that because I suck at it, so that's why.
Oh,
Take that as a
poker.
compliment.
I used to play poker. Is the big thing. Poker is the big thing.
Oh.
That I love. I love poker, and I used to play Texas Hold'em at a bar. And it would be after they closed, and we play like this huge game. And I would usually be the only woman playing. That's another world where there aren't a lot of women.
The gambling game, or we forgot to talk about gambling game. Females in gamblings. Oh God. That's
I
toxic.
just talked about that.
Okay.
But what's this game, Angela, that you went and got? This burrito game.
Oh right. Yes, I was like I forgot about it. But look.
Okay, so you throw burrito, a dodgeball card game.
Yes, and like I have it for like 2 years, and like nobody even like wanted to play with me, and I asked like, want to play, and they're like, I don't want to get hurt, but it's like, but look, it's so cute and squishy.
It's probably not going to hurt. Depending, I mean, I guess if you had like a, yeah, it doesn't.
If you
look
have
like
that one person that likes to throw it as hard as they can,
which is me, which is why nobody wants to play with me.
There you go.
Well, at the next game night that we're able to have, although a lot of us are vaccinated, so it feels a little
We'll
bit
have to do
safer.
a game night.
We'll have to do a game night.
Should.
We'll have to. Yeah. I'll talk to you after. I'll talk to you, all of you, after this.
Are we gonna do it tonight? Everybody come over
tonight. Tonight. Angela's just like, we are doing something.
We're doing something.
We're doing something.
No. But anyway, sorry. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. And then I'm gonna go over the horror trivia thing again. We're done, but I'm just gonna have everybody say where they can be found. Angela, where can you be found?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at teo.khong.
Awesome. Thank you. And Paula?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's My Sandbox.
Awesome. Thank you. And I'm assuming you play for days. Panda is in reference to Monopoly. And that's true. If that is, I don't know if that is what it's in reference to, but I'm assuming. So yes, that's true. You can have like, marathon. And this is Erin. You can follow me on Twitter at @AprilBeauty. The E and the A and the B are capitalized. Be sure to like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/itsafandom_thing_pod. On Twitter at fandomthingpod. No it's in that one. On Instagram at itsafandom_thing_pod. If you have any feedback or any questions about our upcoming horror trivia event, feel free to reach out to us at itsafandom_thing_pod@gmail.com. And on our next episode, we are going to be talking about True Blood. So that should be fun. And Meg, Tanya, and Sasha will be on that. So 3 people that haven't been on in a while. I mean, Sasha was on our international media. But yeah, some people that haven't been on in a while. So I'm very excited about that. And then next weekend, next Saturday, we're going to be back with a live stream on our regular time that we usually do them, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And Carla my unofficial co-host, is finally back. She has not been on in forever. And I mean, Angela's
Can I join the live even though I don't know what the topic is about?
It's about Superstore. Do you watch Superstore?
I can start right now. Hold up. Is it a show?
It's
is
a
it a
sitcom. It's a sitcom.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can watch like a few of them and then
If you can watch enough that you feel like you can talk about it, then you can join. Only because you feel like you can actually add something. But she's going to be on, and then Bex is going to be on. Who is going to be? It's her first time on the podcast. Not the first time on a podcast because she hosts her own podcast. Which I apologize, Bex. I don't have the name of the podcast right up in front of me. I'm going to look it up right now while I talk again about our horror trivia event. Once again, I think right after this, actually, what I'm going to do. Sorry, Angela. I'm going to record a.
wait. No, nothing. I didn't do any. I just like
no, because you kept saying no, because you kept saying, let's go do this. Let's go do this. Let's go do this.
Oh yeah. Are you betraying me?
I'm going to probably record my horror trivia promo after this, is what I was saying. So yeah.
Oh, goodbye.
Good night,
Panda.
Panda. Good night. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Panda is a great supporter, so thank you very much. But anyway, on our horror trivia event, once again, let me post the link here to this. This is the form you can go to fill out to join. And there will be a Google Doc link in this form that will take you to all the rules. And if you are going to be joining, we do ask, we're hoping that everybody will make the minimum $5 donation through our Buy Me a Coffee account. And you find that link in our link tree. All our links are in there. So you just would go to It's a Fandom Thing Pod, Buy Me a Coffee account. You'll also see my name, Erin Marlowe, on there as well. So just make that minimum of $5 donation. Once again, all of that money that we see from that is going to a charity. So yes, we all miss Carla. We all miss Carla terribly. So she will be on next Saturday for Superstore. So definitely tune in for that, Panda. I hope you can tune in for that at least.
Honestly, guys, if you can just afford to get Starbucks every day, just take one break from Starbucks and just do this $5 donations. Just do it.
Exactly. Thank you. And then you can go have fun and you get something.
Then you get something out of it.
Yeah. I mean, in the video we'll show you're going to get, once again, you're going to get this pin at least. I mean, come on, that's pretty awesome, right? Aaron Amos is making that. So it's awesome. You'll get that automatically. You could possibly win one of these Universal Monsters posters.
Ah.
I love all your comments. Thank you. So, there's going to be, like I said, there's a Neil Fraser Graphics who he does poster design work. He's great. He's wonderful. He's going to be actually on our final one, our body horror one. He's going to be co-hosting that with me. So he's going to be the special guest on there, but he's designing a poster, all this amazing stuff, all this stuff we got from 5280, that 80s store here in Colorado. We got great 80s horror gear there, a bunch of other stuff that I'm planning. And like I said, once again, you will get one prize if you win the trivia for that night. And then through the points that you collect, whoever wins will get the grand prize, which is that poster, a couple of other things. You'll get like a sweatshirt with our horror logo, or if you want it to be our original logo, that's fine too. So it'll be something. So all these neat little things. Remember, cocktails or mocktails, costume contests, and we will be dressed up too. That's my requirement for anybody who's on a panel. Is they have to dress up. And Paula's like, I am erasing myself. I forgot about this part.
No, I'm thinking, oh boy, I gotta start.
Oh, I know, I do too. I've been sitting.
I gotta start brainstorming.
Aaron,
I am making my spider costume. I'm actually trying to make a spider costume, so that's gonna be fun. Also, Comic-Con is also coming. It's like Comic-Con is on a Halloween this weekend, so wow.
Oh, it is on Halloween weekend?
Fan Expo, yeah. It's Halloween weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then there goes certain plans I was going to make. I was
Oh
going to
darn!
invite
No,
people
we can
to.
still make it. No, we can still
I'm
make
not.
it.
I'm not going to Fan Expo. So
Well, I'm going. And I'm going to be at. If people are going to be there, if it doesn't get canceled, I'm going to be covering the Colorado Festival of Horror. It's their inaugural year. It was supposed to be last year, but with everything, it got pushed. So I am there covering. I'm going to be speaking to people, interviewing people. So if you're out there and you see me out there, feel free to say hi. I'll probably be wearing our horror pin on there, and I'm not sure one of my lucky fellow panelists will be able to go there with me. So it'll be me and one other person will be there. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about that.
Let me know when and time, and I'll make it.
Okay. Well, we'll talk after we're done here.
Okay.
And I know Erin Amos is attending with her friend, so she'll be there too. I'm not trying to say everybody should go harass our panelists, but
Do it.
I probably shouldn't say that. Erin's going to be like, I hate you. But you can definitely come up to me. So if you're here in Colorado and you're going to be there and you see me, feel free to come up and say hi. I'll be in the media room a lot, so you might not see me. But if you do see me, say, hey, yo. I might even be bringing stuff to, I don't know, depending on what they let me do.
Questions, Erin. You know how you talk about one of the prizes?
Uh-huh.
When are you going to start giving out your autograph? I think it has to be a thing now. It's been over a year. You're famous already.
I'm not famous. Thank you. But yeah, I don't think anyone wants to win my autograph yet, but thank you. Angela does. I'll give you my autograph. Well, thank you for saying that, Angela. I mean, yeah. In a year, I'm hoping we'll be. We're now with a different studio, so that's pretty awesome and cool.
Yes,
it's a big thing. So this isn't part of it. Our live streams aren't part of it, but just to let you know. But Big Reputations podcast is the podcast that Bex co-hosts. So Bex will be on. Bex is also going to be part of our horror trivia event. She's going to be on the Slashers Night. So that should be a lot of fun. It's just going to be a blast. It's just going to be a blast. So I really hope people join. More people want to join. Sorry, I got really distracted by something there. I apologize. This happens to me every time I do a live stream. See, this is why I'm not famous yet. I'm like, oh, squirrel.
It's okay. It's not your fault. I feel like I feel like because I'm always here and I'm drinking, I'm always like asking random questions. So what if? But
no, it's awesome. I mean, I think what I like about the live streams is you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it can lead to really weird things happening. Other times it's it's okay. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah. So again, next Saturday, we're going to be talking about Superstore at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for our live stream. Once again, Carla is going to be returning. Carla is going to be on 2 episodes. So, because we're also going to record, it's not the next episode, but the week after that, we're also doing just a random one talking about different stuff that we're into. Paula's going to be on that one as well. So that's going to be Paula and Carla right now.
So just talk about random things?
Yes, it's not a live stream though. It's just a recording.
Okay, so
you want to be on it, Angela?
For random things, yeah.
Like random, like pop culture items, not just like anything.
Hell yeah, just sign me up.
Okay, well, and we have, okay, I'll talk to you about that.
I miss Carla.
I know, I miss Carla too. I mean, I talk to Carla all the time, but I miss having her on the podcast. So, she's my unofficial co-host, and she hasn't been on in I don't even know how long. It's just been so long. It's been so long. It feels like about a year. So it's been really
she's like my new best friend. Don't tell Meg.
I won't tell me. Anyway, we've gone on a lot of interesting tangents of this episode. And then also heads up, I was going to make it live by September 1st, but I think it'll be before then. I am creating a Patreon page, so that'll now be where we take listener support. There will be different levels because Patreon's a lot better. And since we're no longer with Anchor, we can't take through support through there. And I'm glad actually, because now it'll be easier to use Patreon. So that'll be fun. We're going to have tiers like general admission, silver pass, and then gold pass. So it'll feel like you're going to a convention.
Like it.
And with every level, you'll get something different. So, and we'll be back to doing bonus episodes and all that jazz. Okay. Well, thank you both so much for being on. And thank you to Panda and to anyone else who watched. I really appreciate it. I love doing the live streams. And once again, if you are watching this now or you watched it before, you can also go, of course, after Wednesday, but twist my arm that PodCon is going on tomorrow night. That should be a blast. So look for my panel there as well. So until next time, remember, it's a fandom thing. Black Lives Matter and stop Asian hate. Oh, yeah, I did in the broadcast. We're still alive. We're still alive.
We're still live?
Mhm.
Oh, darn, we're about to talk shit about some penniless behind their back. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, we're ending the broadcast now. Good night.